For a team to be successful, performance management is key. Here's Ms. Debbie Clark to cover some of the highlights of performance management.
The initial form that lays the foundation for everything within performance management for civilian employees is the performance plan. And the performance plan can be in one of two formats. It's either on the core personnel document, which is an Air Force Form 1003, and that combined the old position description and performance plan on an Air Force Form 860 into one document. And then again, the Air Force Form 860 is also a performance plan for those employees not on a core document. Both documents outline the elements and standards of performance that are going to be the basis for the evaluation come the end of the appraisal cycle. But please note, any employee should only be on one. It's not a combination of the two. You're either on it, if you have a core document, you don't use the Air Force Form 860. One of the most crucial aspects, though, of the performance plan is making sure that it's signed. The performance plan should be signed within the first 30 days of the employee's arrival on duty, and thereafter within the first 30 days of each new rating cycle. And it creates numerous problems for everyone across the Air Force when you have a performance plan that's not been signed and certified, because you cannot render a rating when you don't have a certified plan in place, even if the plan had previously been signed and in place for past rating cycles. If it's not signed for the current cycle, it creates lots of difficulties. So that's a very important step that supervisors need to make sure that they take when dealing with performance plans. Going beyond that is the feedback form, which for most supervisors and employees is the Air Force Form 860B. You may be at a base that has some locally approved forms, but generally speaking, it is the Air Force Form 860B. And the Air Force requires that it be done at least once during the midpoint of the rating cycle, but that's the minimum requirement. That doesn't limit it to only one. I think it's a misnomer that we only do it when it's needed or when it's that one time when everyone directs you to. Feedback should be given when needed, and sometimes that's more frequently as quarterly. You may even have situations where monthly is needed, and you should use it as often as possible. The key aspect to actually completing the feedback form, there's two parts of it: the annotations on the lines, if you will, where you indicate whether someone needs significant improvement or little or no improvement, and that line should be annotated appropriately. Don't look past that. Then the second portion is the comments, where you actually talk about what you see and what your concerns are, or what your kudos are, if you will. A feedback form should contain both positive and negative, not just negative, or just not whitewashing over everything. But the content should be very specific to the elements that are on the performance plan. If you're going to be rating on those at the end, which you are, then it makes absolute sense, and the communication with the employee should be specific to those elements, what you see with respect to those elements. There's room to speak about other different things as well. If you have concerns with any of the appraisal factors, or you've noted some significant improvement or change, you want to annotate that as well. So the comments should not be so simplistic as "you're doing a great job" and off you go. They should really be specific to those elements and or those appraisal factors at the very least. And if you need to continue, that form is not very big for comment space, so it's entirely appropriate to use continuation sheets. Although the form indicates that an employee signature is optional, what it really should state is that yes, the signature is optional, but not the opportunity for the employee to sign. You need to make sure that you give the employee the opportunity to sign it. And if he or she refuses, then you can annotate that accordingly. But the signature being optional does not mean you simply write up the feedback form and put it in a folder. You've got to share the information with the employee and give them the chance to sign. And last but not least is the actual appraisal form, which is the Air Force Form 860A. And there are three key aspects of that form to put focus on when accomplishing it. The portion of Part A where you actually rate the elements. It's very important for supervisors to look back to that certified performance plan that was done at the beginning of the rating cycle to make sure that you rate the same elements on the appraisal form that you have on the plan. And what I mean by that is we commonly will have a performance plan that has 5 elements, but yet when you look at the rating form has only been annotated for 4 elements. So it's very imperative that that portion of that performance plan, whether it's the core document or the Air Force Form 860, be pulled out and referred to, because otherwise you technically can't grant the ratings on the elements if you don't have that in front of you.